The Ugly Duckling might seem like a simple children's tale, but what most people miss is how it's actually a masterclass in writing about trauma, identity, and social rejection themes that Hans Christian Andersen experienced firsthand as a poor shoemaker's son who eventually moved in elite social circles.
That's such an interesting perspective on the story. How do you think Anderson's personal experiences shaped the way he wrote about the duckling's journey?
Well, Andersen grew up in poverty and faced intense social rejection before finding success. The story's vivid descriptions of exclusion, the pecking, the biting, the cruel words, those come from a place of real lived experience.
The psychological depth in those scenes is remarkable, especially for a children's story written in the 1840s.
And here's what's fascinating about the structure. The story follows a full seasonal cycle from summer through winter and back to spring. It's like Andersen is using nature itself to mirror the protagonist's transformation.
Hmm, that reminds me of how other romantic writers of the period use natural imagery. But Anderson does something unique with it, doesn't it?
Oh, exactly unlike typical romantic writers who often idealized nature, Andersen shows its harsh reality. The winter nearly kills our protagonist. The hunters shoot the geese who try to help him. Nature isn't just beautiful, it's dangerous.
The way you put that really highlights how the story subverts expectations at every turn.
You know what literary critics often miss? The story's brilliant use of water as a metaphor. The duckling is constantly drawn to water, it's where he feels most himself, even before he knows he's a swan. It's like his true identity is calling to him.
That's such an important point about identity. The water scenes are really about self recognition, aren't they?
Right, and when he finally sees his reflection, it's not just about physical transformation. The text specifically mentions that he could now rightly estimate his own happiness. It's about internal understanding as much as external change.
Well, that brings up something interesting about the story's enduring relevance, especially in our age of social media and constant comparison.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. Unlike modern makeover narratives, the duckling doesn't change himself to fit in. He doesn't learn to lay eggs like the hen wants or purr like the cat suggests. He stays true to his nature.
The story really challenges our modern obsession with self improvement, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what's particularly powerful is how the story handles the ending. When the duckling becomes a swan, the text specifically mentions he's not proud, for a good heart is never proud. It's like Anderson is saying there's something more important than external validation.
That's such a sophisticated message for what's supposedly a children's story.
And let's talk about the story's brilliant use of perspective. We experience everything through the duckling's eyes, his confusion, his pain, his longing. It's an early example of psychological realism in children's literature.
The emotional authenticity really comes through in those moments of deep despair, like when he thinks even the dog won't eat him because he's so ugly.
You know what makes this story so timeless? It's not just about ugly versus beautiful, it's about the universal experience of feeling like an outsider. Whether it's social class, cultural background, or personal identity, we've all felt like that duckling at some point.
That's why it resonates across cultures and generations, isn't it? The core emotional truth is universal.
And here's the final brilliant thing: the story doesn't end with revenge or triumph over those who rejected him. Instead, it ends with finding where you belong and the simple joy of being yourself. That's what makes it truly timeless.